The words hit harder than any punch ever could. In the middle of a quiet family dinner in a small town in Ohio, my 12-year-old son looked straight at me and announced that I was a loser, that his mother's new husband was the kind of man everyone respected, and that I would never be anything like him. Every fork stopped moving. Every voice disappeared. My heart shattered in complete silence, yet I refused to argue, defend myself, or even explain. I simply lowered my eyes, smiled with more pain than anger, and finished my meal. That night, I realized life was about to test me in ways I had never imagined. Before the story continues, if you believe that kindness, forgiveness, and second chances still matter in today's world, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs hope today. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. My name is Michael Carter, and I had spent most of my life working with my hands. I was a construction worker in Columbus, Ohio, waking up before sunrise every day, carrying heavy tools, fixing homes, and returning exhausted each evening. I was never rich. I drove an old pickup truck that rattled every time it started, rented a modest apartment after my divorce, and counted every dollar before buying groceries. My former wife, Rachel, had remarried a successful businessman named Jonathan, who wore expensive suits, drove luxury cars, and seemed to have everything money could buy. Naturally, our son, Noah, was impressed by the glamorous life he now experienced every other week. To a young boy, success looked like shiny watches and beautiful houses. My calloused hands and worn-out boots looked like failure. After that painful dinner, I never spoke badly about Rachel or Jonathan. I never reminded Noah about the birthdays I had never missed, the nights I stayed awake when he had a fever, or the years I worked overtime just so he could have school supplies and soccer equipment. Instead, I quietly continued showing up. Every weekend I picked him up on time. Every school event, I sat in the audience whether he noticed me or not. Every phone call he ignored, I answered with another message saying I loved him anyway. Love sometimes means remaining present even when your heart is breaking. Months passed, and Noah slowly stopped visiting. Jonathan was buying him the newest electronics, designer clothes, and exciting vacations. I could not compete with any of that. The loneliness inside my apartment became unbearable. There were evenings when I sat at the kitchen table staring at the empty chair across from me, wondering if my own son would someday forget who I was. Still, I refused to become bitter. Instead of drowning in sadness, I enrolled in evening classes to learn project management. After 10-hour workdays, I studied until midnight. My body was exhausted, but my hope refused to die. I believed that even if nobody noticed my effort today, tomorrow might tell a different story. 2 years later, opportunity finally knocked. A local contractor retired unexpectedly and recommended me to take over several large community rebuilding projects because he trusted my honesty more than anyone else's. The responsibility frightened me, but I accepted it. I worked harder than ever, treating every employee with respect because I remembered what it felt like to be overlooked. The business slowly grew. Families trusted our work. Churches hired us to restore damaged buildings. Schools called us for renovations. Success arrived quietly, built brick by brick, just like the houses we repaired. Yet the greatest reward was not the money. It was the confidence I had rebuilt inside myself. Then life changed again. Jonathan's company collapsed after risky financial decisions left him buried in debt. The luxurious lifestyle disappeared almost overnight. Rachel struggled to pay bills, and Noah suddenly watched the perfect image he had admired fall apart. One rainy afternoon, my phone rang. It was Noah. His voice trembled as he asked whether we could meet. I agreed without hesitation. When we met at a quiet park, Noah looked older than his years. Tears filled his eyes before he could even speak. He admitted he finally understood that expensive gifts had blinded him. He remembered every baseball game I attended, every broken bicycle I repaired, every bedtime story I had read when he was little. He confessed that the sentence he shouted during that dinner had haunted him ever since. He expected anger, but all I felt was compassion. I wrapped my arms around my son, and for the first time in years, neither of us tried to hide our tears. Some wounds cannot be erased, but they can be healed through forgiveness. From that day forward, our relationship slowly became stronger than it had ever been. We spent weekends fishing, rebuilding old furniture, and volunteering together to repair homes for struggling families. Noah learned that true success is measured by character, sacrifice, and consistency, not by wealth or appearance. Watching him grow into a humble young man became the greatest achievement of my life. I never reminded him of the cruel words spoken years earlier because love keeps no record of past mistakes when genuine repentance is present. If this story touched your heart, please support this channel by liking this video, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends and family. Your encouragement allows more inspiring stories of hope and forgiveness to reach people who may need them today. Special request, please leave a comment below and tell us, what does being a real winner in life mean to you? As I watched Noah walk beside me one peaceful evening, laughing the way he had when he was a little boy, I realized something beautiful. Children may sometimes confuse success with money, and adults may sometimes judge others by appearances, but time has a remarkable way of revealing the truth. The strongest people are often the quiet ones who continue loving, working, and believing even after being deeply hurt. I never answered my son's painful words that night because I knew life itself would answer them someday. And when it finally did, it wasn't revenge that changed our family, it was patience, forgiveness, and a father's unconditional love.